Most students wake up each day measuring themselves by numbers, percentages on tests, points on assignments, letter grades printed in red ink. It's easy to believe that these marks are the full measure of who you are and what you can achieve. But what if you could look beyond the grade? What if, instead of seeing a B or a C as a verdict, you saw it as a stepping stone, a clue, or even a door opening to greater things? This is the lesson Maya learned, and it changed everything about the way she saw herself at school. Maya was an ordinary middle schooler in a bustling city. She paid attention in class, tried hard on her homework, and cared deeply about making her family proud. Every Monday morning, she would nervously peek at her most recent quiz scores, hoping for another shiny A. Each time she fell short of perfection, a knot twisted in her stomach. She thought, maybe I'm not as smart as everyone else. She saw those less-than-perfect grades as labels, unmovable facts about her abilities. One Friday, Maya's teacher, Mr. Lee, handed back the results of a big math test. Maya turned the paper over, heart pounding. In bright red ink was a glaring C. Disappointment crashed over her like a wave. Her classmates whispered, comparing answers and scores. She hung her head and slipped the test quietly into her folder, barely able to look at it. That night at the dinner table, Maya's mom noticed her daughter's silence. Gently, she asked, "How was school?" Maya's eyes filled with tears. "I got a C- on my math test. I worked so hard. No matter what I do, I'm just not good enough." She expected her mom to be disappointed, maybe even upset. But instead, her mom smiled kindly. "Maya, the grade doesn't define you. It doesn't say who you are or how far you can go. Each mistake is just feedback, a message telling you what you haven't mastered yet and what you can learn next. It's like a map, not a stamp." Her mom leaned closer. "Don't ask if you're good enough. Ask instead, what can I try now?" Maya was puzzled but curious. "But doesn't failing mean I'm, failing?" "Hindi kanan." Her mom shook her head. "Failure isn't an endpoint. It's just a step on the way to growth, if you let it be." The next day at school, Maya looked at her graded test and, for the first time, actually read the teacher's comments. Next to the tricky problems, Mr. Lee had written, "Remember to bring the 1 over when you borrow in subtraction." And, "Good try. Review your multiplication tables." A new idea sparked in Maya's mind. Maybe each mistake was a clue, showing her exactly where she needed to focus. So instead of hiding her test away, she began to rewrite the problems she got wrong, figuring out where she'd made errors and what steps she'd missed. The following week, Maya stayed after class. She showed Mr. Lee what she had been working on. "I tried to fix the mistakes from last time," she said, holding out her paper, a little nervous. Mr. Lee smiled warmly. "That's the spirit, Maya. Learning isn't about getting it perfect the first time. It's about stretching your brain and using feedback to grow. Every mistake you fix makes you smarter and stronger." The next math quiz came, and Maya felt a bit more confident. She still didn't score an A, but when she saw the grade, she didn't panic. Instead, she looked at her errors like riddles to solve. Over the next few weeks, her grades started rising. Not because she was suddenly a math genius, but because she worked every day to understand her mistakes and learn from them. Even when she stumbled, Maya didn't see herself as a failure anymore. She saw herself as a work in progress, learning, growing, and improving each day. The journey wasn't always smooth. Sometimes Maya still felt discouraged when things didn't go her way, but she kept remembering what her mom and Mr. Lee had told her. Little by little, she turned failure into feedback. Every setback pointed the way forward. When a friend was upset after a tough science test, Maya shared her secret. "It's not about the grade, it's about what you do next." Soon, Maya noticed something else. Her classmates began to change too. Instead of hiding their mistakes, more students started asking for help, fixing their errors, and helping each other grow. In group projects, they celebrated not just the right answers, but also the teamwork and effort it took to solve tricky problems together. By the end of the school year, Maya's report card was much improved. But what meant more to her than any grade was her new confidence, the knowledge that she was more than a number and that learning would always be bigger than a score. When the principal spoke at the school assembly about success, Maya listened with a smile. She knew now that true success meant bouncing back, asking questions, and viewing every mistake as a golden opportunity to learn something new. So if you're ever feeling weighed down by a grade, remember Maya's lesson. A test score does not define you. It only shows where you are in your learning journey, not where you'll end up. Mistakes are not reasons to give up, but invitations to try again and become even better. Learning is a lifelong adventure, filled with ups and downs, experiments and surprises. It's not about winning or losing, passing or failing. It's about growing, bit by bit, day by day, into the best version of yourself. So the next time you get a tough grade, don't hide it or feel ashamed. Hold it up to the light and ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Because learning is much more than a score, and you are much more than a grade. The real world needs people who can learn from their mistakes, adapt, and persevere. Just like Maya, when you see failure as feedback, there's no limit to how far you can go. Your potential isn't set in stone. With an open mind and a willingness to learn, you have everything you need to succeed, not just in school, but in life. Thanks for tuning in to Smiley Toon TV. If you enjoyed today's journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to keep the smiles coming. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this adventure going together. Stay positive, keep smiling, and let your mind wander.